Hi guys, thank you very much for joining me. I'm just picking something up. I'm picking up that there's a lot of unconscious energy and it feels like it's not easy to access it. Like people are feeling to me like slightly anxious and like a little bit on edge because they got this really miraculous full moon coming up on the 6th of September. And it feels to me that sometimes you can bypass things, it is possible, and just to feel light and just to feel expanded and just to feel large. But I feel for me it is really important this month to really come to terms with the wrongdoings and to keep it humble and also to get like a really nice perspective on my life in retrospect. So to get a really nice full glowing perspective on where I'm at and who I truly am. So the feeling of connection to all things and being one with all people and being one with all things and everything is me and I can do anything is great. But it feels to me that I'm also on this point where I'm losing myself through this feeling as I've been working on that dimension for a really long time. So perhaps for you, you don't need this video. Perhaps for yourself, like you can already see all is one and you're sort of breaking into this new kind of, whoa, everything is me. I can touch everything with my own field and everything's inside me. But it feels to me that some people are not ready for this and I'm not ready. I'm not. Because it feels to me that sometimes during this time we can shed a lot. We can change our lives if we just learn to pray. And this is not a religious thing. And prayer as a concept used to freak me out as well because I've seen the dark side of religion and spirituality for a long time. And it's more likely to help if you don't think about it as prayer. If you don't think about it as prayer, if you just feel it as an upgrade. And my life has sort of brought me here to Poland where I'm really isolated and I've just been talking a lot. And I feel if you are, and you can, maybe it is not good for you, but it's been really good for me to just talk it out. Talk out all the things I think about my mom, especially got a lot of Scorpio, Capricorn, all the things I think about my dad, all the things I think about my boyfriend in the past, all the things I feel, like all the lonely things and all the light things and all the dark things. And then at the same time accentuate it with something else. So maybe like go for a run, go for a walk, make a friend, do something that is beautiful just to balance it all out. Otherwise it gets a little bit stuck. But the prayer thing is a cycle for me now. So I'm doing this in a different way. So with myself, what I'm doing is connecting to the baddest feeling I can find if I'm ever stuck. Like I've been stuck for a very long time on certain things in my life unconsciously, and they've been all coming out in the last few days, and I'm also doing a cleanse and it's just been like all over the place. So where you stuck, where are you? Like for example, you know, I hate this, I hate that, that's triggered me recently, that's triggered me, I can't sleep, I can't do this, I can't do that, which is quite likely for some of us. And if you are getting these feelings in your field, like you're still getting these feelings and they're not moving, it is time to say I'm sorry. It is time to say I love you. It is time to cry. And you can do it by yourself or you can approach somebody that you actually feel those feelings for. I'm so sorry, I'm so sorry, I love you, I love you. It's not too bad. It is not a good thing to completely be erratic and get in someone's face, but it is really nice to purge those feelings, at least for you. Record yourself saying these things and you can, you know, send them to that person or you can just keep them private. It's not really about them seeing or witnessing you do it. It's more about, although it does help, it is more about you connecting to that feeling. So I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, and keep on going. I'm sorry, like I fucked up. I'm so sorry I did this. I'm so sorry. I keep on venting, and eventually it will become something better. It may eventually become, but then these people are still here for me and I'm thankful, I'm grateful, I'm grateful, I'm grateful, I'm grateful. So the prayer upgrades itself when that portal is clean. And then eventually you will, I feel, start feeling something else, because after you feel I'm grateful about this and I'm grateful about that and whoa, I'm caring, I'm careless. Actually, whoa, hang on, I'm caring, but I'm careless. I don't actually care that this happened, that this happened, that this happened. I actually don't anymore long for this person, or oh my god, I don't anymore long for that person, or this experience, or that experience. Oh my gosh, I actually don't have a care that I associate with, that I used to associate with. And then you go to the higher plank and it might be like, accidentally, you'll just see yourself vortexing in a different way, and you might be, oh my gosh, but I'm here, oh my gosh, and I've got this and I've got this, and it'll be like, oh my god, but I've got my hands and I've got my hair and I've got everything that I love, and I'm meeting this person, you know, for the first time, and I'm seeing this and I'm seeing that, and I'm connecting to this and that, and wow, God, thank you so much, you know, all of this is possible now. And then you might go to the next level, which might be, who am I? Who am I? I don't recognize myself. What is this? What is this? I'm amazed. I'm amazed. This is incredible. I've never ever before truly felt this, or I've never ever been able to before do that. And then you may continue that vortex at the end of the vortex, and I wouldn't actually go much higher than that because I went too high the other day. At the end of the vortex, you might go, ha 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 ha. You might just laugh. And you might, at that tip, don't go anywhere else. But you might actually get like a feeling, what am I doing here? And this is the emotional shift into a different dimension. And I've had this happen a few times during the last week, and it's been amazing, but it's also been very unnerving. So don't go past that point, because we're not ready. It's almost like you go past that point and you're in the kitchen and you get told to go away, because what they're doing up there, you know, what they're doing out there, what is happening on an interdimensional level in terms of different worlds is almost like a big hush-hush, and we're just not meant to go. So with me, what happened last time, it went too high up, so I kept on pushing and seeing what higher vortex I can go into, and I went into the kitchen, and they were basically like, just love yourself and love your friends. Bye. Like, just get out. You're not allowed to be here. So don't approach like, God, like, hey, who's up there? Like, who's watching me? Like, what, you know, don't go too high, because there is a hidden part here. We're in shadow, we're in Virgo, we're also going to have a full moon in Pisces. Kind of not meant to go into the mystery of it, because it's beyond us right now to really have a look, because we might not, you know, connect to it. And the new thing it feels actually for me is actually miracles. And I've noticed this is the big part of this video, miracles. Miracles, because I have actually been miracle-less. Miracle-less because this is what happened when I understood that I could channel, I understood that I could vibe, you know, with lots of different things. I got a feeling, I got a sense that I could do these things and I could figure things out, and I could see the formula behind life, and I could see where it would go, which becomes finite with time. Because all blueprints for reality and all rules change. They bend with time. Just like the vortex and Esther Hicks stuff, when it came out was like, oh my god, this is stuff of the future. Then it became, wow, this is so right now. And then eventually it becomes, oh well, I don't actually need this theory anymore. Which is actually why, this is how come I do, you know, channeling all the time, and why I do videos, because each time there's a new thing. And often it is really, really strange, but I find new portals that have not been before. I did not see them before. They weren't in my reality, or they couldn't be touched by me. So with things like miracles, it is possible during this type of feeling, during this type of shift, but we have to be able to accept miracle. And if we don't accept miracle, we can't like experience miracle. So it's an interesting time to look at things in a completely different way. So this helps for me. For example, if you've got a sob story and you go, you know, he left me and that's it, you know, or he abused me and that's it. Try to find the positive. Try to see what he actually really wanted me to do well. And he was actually there in so many ways. Like, find something completely weird about your story that you never thought before. And try and morph it. Try and detangle from this need to be always right and to be always in the same stories. Like, I always get left behind, or I'm always the nice guy that doesn't get the girl. I'm always in the friend zone. I'm always like kind of on the sidewalk. You know, I'm always in between people, but I'm never seen. You know, like all of these different patterns and all these different styles of life. We'll have to all transcend them eventually, all the little patterns that we have and all the recurring things. And another thing, and I've discovered this only recently and fully committed to it, is situations. don't change if you just walk out of them. And this is a big thing I feel for this month, because I've had a lot of time to think after I gave the advice of changing things up. You know, it's like, you don't need it, it's not efficient for you, don't do it. That was the chance that I felt that the black moon gave and what this month was about. But this is not exactly so, in a way, because quantum mind, it's all over. So basically what happens is, when we're in a situation, we walk away and we just go, oh, I'm going to leave it behind. I walk into a new situation and it's similar. Oh, I just leave it behind. That's not good either. So it feels to me that we've got to resonate and truly understand why God gave us a situation. So why we generated it, you know? So for example, you're in a story and it's hard and it's heavy and you're like, no, I'm just going to get that ticket and I'm just going to get on the plane and that's going to be the end of that story. That's wrong, because time is a spiral. It's like spiral, not linear. And this means that like we are on the spiral, and for example, here we go, no, I don't want to continue the spiral. Guess what happens? You go into another dimension and maybe you have like an intermediate spiral sort of thing, and then that spiral continues from the place you left it. So you might actually find yourself likely to repeat those patterns either by yourself or with similar people, and conversations and things continue in the way that they've done before, and things become even more dense just to help you get that structure through. Because sometimes a story is not a story without the structure, and it's the structure that's actually the important part, the structure and the growth that you receive through it. So when you are in a really uncomfortable situation, especially leading up to this full moon, it is nice to just be like, okay, I'm going to sit here and I'm going to absorb it, and I'm going to shift myself into it. I want to find the light in this. I want to find the power in this, the power for all people involved. I want to find the future in this. However you are, and you might actually cause a miracle. And it could be like, okay, I've got this partner, I'm not happy, you know, they're below me, or I'm feeling that they're not pulling their weight. Just be like, wow, this is beautiful. I'm going to step back. I'm not going to nag anymore. I'm just going to step back and I'm going to watch them. And you might actually see them evolve really, really far, or something pulls you out, because we're not meant to just shed everything. I don't want this, I don't want this. And this is like consumer culture. I don't want this, I'm just going to throw it out. I don't want this, I'm just going to throw it out. It's not about that. It's like nature, and I'm just learning this. Nature, and I'm sorry if I've given you weird advice in the last month, sorry. So nature doesn't just discard things. Doesn't go, oh, that goes. It sheds. Like, it over time becomes obvious. Like, say, the leaves don't just go, oh, bad leaf, that sheds. No, it, like, they decompose on the tree, and when it's time, they fall off the tree, like in autumn. We've got the equinox coming. And the main thing is, I feel, to let it, if it's hard and it's sore and it's painful, oh, I'm just going to rip myself out and go into a different dimension. It is not so good, especially with this Pisces moon. Everything is like, everything is like slithery and everything's liquid. So it is not so good to just like, when I'm, you know, looking at this, you might have a different opinion, but it feels to me that it's not so good to just rip yourself out of a situation, because it might, the spiral gets broken. So the natural spiral was meant to go like this because you manifested it unconsciously in a separate experience. You've already programmed the whole spiral. You programmed the whole relationship, or you programmed the job, and the spiral's kind of going, you go, I don't want this, I want this, and you might try, and then that spiral tries again, you know, and then you rip it again and you try again, and it might get even more streamlined, or it might get even more like, it just grows back. It's like hairs on your legs, you know what I mean? You shave them off, they come back. So it's like one of those things, and it feels to me that the perfect portal is now. I mean, to really concentrate, it's like, okay, so where are you? Like, for example, I'm alone in Poland in this little room, and I'm just thinking, where should I go? Should I go to Greece? Should I go to France? Where am I going? And I'm like, I'm not yet there if I don't have a dream, if the dream doesn't come to me. So where do I go? It's like, no, I'm just going to stay. I'm going to stay, and I'm going to process the whole spiral. And the amazing thing is, by the time the spiral of time runs out, by the time the geometric structure of the relationship or the situation runs to its conclusion, there's another one ready. It's like, you know, teeth. It's like, you know, people lose teeth, like kids lose teeth, and then there's another tooth already coming. That's why, it all happens like that. It's like you don't just shed skin and have flesh. You shed skin when there is a new layer ready to be growing. You shed something when there is something already happening else. That is compatible with you. It's like you don't just shed things. And actually, I've noticed when I was looking at my patterns with love in the past, and I've noticed that I've just walked away from people and it's walked into another person's life. And I've seen that perhaps with some of my partners, there was a spiral. Well, there's multiple spirals that are available for each relationship. My spiral wasn't ready to finish, and we're still having a relationship on some interdimensional, where we were interdimensional level, because we were timed for this many years, or we were timed with the vibration that we created with each other when we first met was strong enough to last, for example, 4 or 5 years. But because this person, for example, walked out, or I walked out, the spiral went like this, and I try to create other relationships and try to make other situations in that bracket, but I couldn't, because that vibration of the previous relationship was still ringing through me. And I've made different relationships, but they didn't feel the same. They didn't feel good, because that spiral was still going. That momentum was still taking place, and there was no body that could have broken it except for us, and we didn't talk. So it was really hard until recently, and it was nicely resolved. So I feel basically the main part of this conclusion is that time is in a spiral. Time's a spiral. And and that it's really nice to not force anything during this time, and not to jump anywhere. And like, if things shed the things when they're ready to shed. So I'm sorry if I was like, just let it go. I was like, no, like shed what is ready to shed, or allow shedding to take place. Not ripping out anything, not ripping anything. Just kind of let it shed. New identity is here, new things are here. But it also feels to me that sometimes the more we pull into something, wow, this is amazing, time excels. Wow, this is amazing, this is incredible, I'm really enjoying that. Wow, I'm actually really appreciating this person. And sometimes even if you're feeling that person's not for me, but I need to, wow, they're incredible, I appreciate them. Sometimes when you do that, that spiral continues. And if there is affinity to it, if it's meant to be finite, it goes, no. And then you just have a different experience. Like sharing appreciation for the moment. And it doesn't matter if it's in a relationship, or if it's a conclusion of a situation, or if it's like this place that I'm living in at the moment. Just incredible things can happen if you just feel like, this is incredible, this is incredible, this is incredible. And you vibrate so much joy for that moment, for that spiral. It may not conclude the way you expect, and you might get pulled away. You might suddenly have an offer for a different spiral, or you might suddenly, life just places you into a different dimension where you can carry on evolving in a different way. Because, and this is a quantum thing, once you evolve through something and you've done it in a natural cycle, there's not going to be a repeat of that situation. It only, like, history repeats itself when you don't do a good job of that history. That's the thing. It's like, where you have found transcendence and you're like, wow, this is amazing, I actually could, I could eat this every day, or like, I could have this every day, this is perfect, this is amazing. And you penetrate into the experience and you permeate it. You're like, wow, this is awesome. When you are at that type of friendliness with an experience or a person or whatever life has given you, when you are at that part of yourself, you can't continue. And you have to have a new system, new sequence, because that's the new thing that's coming through. I feel it's like once you get to that really incredible feeling, you get an upgrade, or you get a stability elsewhere, because nature's curious and it wants to see you energize through other curves of time. It wants to see you, how you do in a different types of situation, or how would you do with this upgrades, or how would you do with this with change, and things change. But the miracle of life is beyond that, actually. The miracle of life is beyond manifesting things. It is beyond the manifestation of goodness. To me, to my understanding, my limited person, I feel that the limited things that we think we want are nothing. This is not real for most people yet, I don't think. the unlimited feeling of having absolutely anything at any given moment, anything, completely anything. That's the miracle of life. And this is possible. Like, there's a person outside my door now. They could have knocked on my door, they could have come in, they could have said something, they could have sung a song, and that would change my whole spectrum of experience. And everything is kind of like connected to everything else. And each thing you see is like a sign, and it's just unlimited. But to walk into that, oh my God, I'm actually unlimited. This is an unlimited experience. Anything could be. Anything could be. That's a hard place to get to. That's a hard place to get to, which I'm starting to resolve and I'm getting towards. But I had to start at the beginning. I locked myself in a room. I've cried myself for 3 days straight. This is magic as well. This is magic. This is magic right now because I cried and because I've pulled up whatever shadow. So it's like we can't reach up to the bigger potential, you know what I mean, unless we are pulling up, you know, and nurturing that part of us that struggles. So pull up that part that's struggling and it's trying, the painful part. Pull it up, pull it up, pull it up through prayer, meditation, kindness, generosity, appreciation, love, and there will be new portals that will just open. You'll be like, oh my God, like it's like a little mole poking out of the ground. It's like, oh my God, I can deserve more. I can do more. But that shouldn't be the point. More is not the point. It's just like accidentally, you know, like when you gather yourself up and you love yourself, and you, especially if you are on your moon, you know, as a female, especially if you're in a sensitive place and you're gathering yourself up and you're loving yourself, and you're completely in love with that part, you know, that before was shunned or was embarrassing or shameful. You pull it up and you just are in that moment, and you're completely evolving through that energy, and you shed complete appreciation for that part of you that feels malfunctioning, and then you just get pushed up or pulled into a different dimension. But that has to be not the point, to be pulled, you know, because in each situation there is a new struggle. That's not the new game, the new frontier, like upping a level is not the point. The point is this period of expansion, because at first it feels terrifying, but once you are in it, it is not actually that bad. And when you are out of it, when you've just come out of it, you're like, wow, why have I never done this before? So thank you so much. If you would like to know more about me and things like that, I'll put links in the caption below. And if you want to get a channeled reading or anything like that, let me know. I'm going to be a little bit all over the place in the next few days because I'm catching up on life. But if you have some patience and some time this or next week, let me know. Thanks. Bye.